Got it.
Oh. Oh, well, it's, yeah.
Oh, look, there's this one. No, it's just there. I can't remember.
Hi there.
And then I don't do the audio online, right? So right.
Diane.
Hi, Marky.
Hi, Marky. Good to meet you.
Nice to meet
This is
you.
Linda.
This is. Hi, Martha.
Hi.
Good to meet you.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, the men are representing.
They are. My night room yesterday. Yesterday, I was like, yeah, Jeannie and I are the luckiest ladies in my house. Because I loved it. I loved it. Good session yesterday. I had fun too.
I agree.
I bring a little different energy than most.
Well, the first lady, Jody, she did hers via Zoom, because she's got about it up in the mountains.
Yes, yeah, she
She was really good.
great. Yeah.
So,
You guys are working towards becoming a maths coach.
That's weird.
Her agent, so yeah, that's. Yeah, she's heading down that path, so. Alright. Which is fun and exciting, I'm like, I don't wanna do that. If I was a math coach, I'd math coach these.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. What's that? The link from Elizabeth saying today, instead of going to City School Lab, it's going to Know Before You Go.
Uh-oh. Okay, will you let Elizabeth know so she can send out a correction email? And then,
Well, we gotta get her into something too.
yeah, but I think I have it under a different link, so hold on a minute. I might have it tucked away somewhere.
You know what?
Wrong Zoom link?
Yep.
Hello, I'm Bob Isabel.
Yes. It is.
Hi, Bob.
Like not.
So Marky, how long have you had your license?
3 weeks.
Okay, you guys are all brand new. I love this.
Mhm.
So
Great.
fun.
That is fun.
Okay, so I've got the right link.
Yes.
Just be quiet for a minute. Okay, so I'm gonna send this link to Linda. The one that's in the training calendar invite is correct.
It's just the one on the email.
Yeah, that went out today. Yep,
Yeah, she's fixing it.
and I'm sending this to you. Do you want it to your email or to text?
Email.
Okay,
Because it's
and I bet I don't have her email automatically in here. I don't.
Linda at Lynchburg.
Linda at LANDER and HOME.
So long.
GR. Who cares?
LHG.
LHG.
So we get it.
Linda at
Trust me.
Homework.
I don't hate that.
So this is the correct link. Okay, because I just went into it, so. And we got all kinds of reverb here in the room.
Bam.
Yeah, so hopefully that works. Jeff Gorman had the right link.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there we go.
You must have gone into the calendar.
That's what my
Oh,
game
maybe.
is, calendar.
Oh,
Mine.
oh, that's weird. Really?
So the email that Linda had wrongly,
Yeah, but the calendar was right.
that's right.
Saying his emails.
I don't know.
Is it right?
Yeah.
Weird. Very strange.
How weird. I don't know, Lynn, I don't know how Lynn has it wrong, but we got it,
We're getting it.
there, it's all good. This is why we fire things up early.
Yes.
Oh, there's Lydia Howard. Right there. To their name.
Oh, yeah, yeah, just hit join the computer audio and then.
Are you using me?
You can mute after that, so.
Linda? Are you using mine?
Probably.
Oh, okay.
Looks like it.
That's so funny. Probably. Yeah, there she
You're up
is.
there.
All right, we'll give people a few more minutes just in case there was confusion. Casey, can you give me a sound check? She just went on camera.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, awesome. So when Linda speaks, can you hear Linda?
Hey, hi Casey.
Yes,
Perfect.
So from here forward is like in the frame, basically.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so. Yeah. All right.
Or over here.
Or you can hang out over there and put your camera on. Yep. Hello. First of all, I would love to have all the cameras on Zoom. Just so that we can see your faces.
that's not McDonald's. I know, we changed it.
And we're gonna, thank you, Casey. So, so I'm Margaret Ginn, I'm one of the productivity coaches here at Keller Williams Avenues. I coach and partner with Bria Bone, so many of you I know come with Bria. I'm super excited skills labs. I think that the skills labs are designed for you guys to walk out of here, not just with education, but with actually the how to and with a plan and something that's actionable. So the last 2 months, we did the listing consultation and the buyer consultation, and those were live. We didn't actually go in anybody's living room. We made this look like a living room. But you got the feel of what would happen. Today, we're going to talk about open houses. I love open houses. My very first client came from an open house. Bria's very first client came from an open house. It is a great opportunity for you to put yourself in front of people who are looking at homes. And if they're looking either because they want to buy or they want to sell and they just haven't admitted to themselves. Okay, my favorite people are the nosy neighbors, right? And so I'm super excited. You are not going to listen to me today. You're not going to listen to Bria today. You get to hear from us enough. But who you are going to hear from is one of the teams in our market center. And their #1 lead generation conversion source is open houses. So I'm super excited to introduce to you guys today, Diane Howard and Linda Arcos from the Lantern Home Group. And they are going to teach you everything they do from, we've got an open house, how do we market it? What happens at the open house? And then the most important part, because the fortune is in the follow-up, what they do after the open house. So get your notebooks out. We will record this, right? It is being recorded. I hope the little thing came up. Yeah, yep, it's recording. So these will be on the YouTube channels later because I know they're gonna knock it out of the park and you'll want to go back and watch it. So with that, this is interactive. Make sure you let us know if you have questions, and I'm turning it over to the masters.
Thank you, Darla. Hello, everyone. So thank you for coming. Linda and I prepared a little skit. My daughter is an actress in LA. And so, you know, we're gonna channel my little peanut. And anyway, so we're gonna show you first what a terrible open house looks like. Because I'm sure if you haven't already, you will go into an open house with a client and you will be horrified by what you see. And so we want to kind of act out that scenario for you first. And then we'll get into the nuts and bolts of how we do open houses and why we do open houses and kind of our philosophy on things. Fair enough? Okay.
So for those of you that are on camera, Linda is sitting in a big comfy chair right now, and Diane is getting ready to walk into the door.
Hi. Hi. How are you? Good. How are you? Good. I'm Linda. Oh, nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
So what brings you in today? Well, great, we have one that's for you.
Okay.
Well, come on in, I can show you like the kitchen's right over here.
Okay.
A living room with a nice big window right over there. Yeah, then we have a little dining space over here. You wanna come on in?
Sure. Yeah,
So
how much is this one going for?
this one's going for 550.
Okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
how much can you afford?
I don't know yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, what do you think? You wanna buy this one?
I don't know. Can I look around a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Let me make sure that you don't miss out on this tree that's over here outside this window.
Oh,
Yeah.
what kind of tree is it?
Oh, one that spurts leaves, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're the real estate agent?
I am just here helping the realtor.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Hey, what age is the roof?
I'm not sure. I think maybe in the last 5 years, maybe. I'm not sure. Is he asking your realtor? Do you have a realtor?
Yeah. I do.
Okay.
Okay. All right, well. Thank you, I
Well,
appreciate you coming in. Sorry, this is my last time.
Sorry, here I go.
Appreciate you coming in.
Well, what did you think about? Cool, I'd love to help you with your home search. Do you mind if I reach out?
Do you have a card?
Yeah, sure, let me give you my card.
Thanks.
I'm looking forward to hearing from you.
Yeah, I'll be in touch.
Bye.
Watching you guys try and do a bad open house was hilarious.
Don't miss the tree. So as Margaret said, I mean, we really believe in open houses. We try to do them at the highest level. It is one of our #1 lead generation sources. And it's the easiest way to get business. It is the quickest way for you guys to start getting into production. So we're gonna start, I guess, soup to nuts, kind of give you all of our ins and outs about what we do. Linda and Elizabeth do the majority of our open houses, and yeah, so really, this is the expert. So we'll start with.
We're gonna start with just setting expectations with your clients. I love hearing your first clients, Marg and Bria, or that where you guys, it came from open houses. Mine did too, actually. It was just to share a little bit, a prospect came in, let's call them. They came in and they literally stepped into the front door and were like, my landlord is selling my house and I need somewhere to live. And she was just like at the door frozen, like wide-eyed, she didn't know what to do, almost cried, like we hugged at the end, all the things.
She hugs everyone.
People cry, hug her, and
Yes.
but so I helped her buy a house and then I went and I tracked down the seller for the place that she lived at to see if he had a realtor, and he did not have a realtor, so I got my very first listing off market that way as well. So just a little info story there for you guys. But once you get your listing, you do want to set proper expectations with your clients about what to expect with the open house, traffic, how they should either be there, not be there, things like that, right? So let's start with just setting up the house itself, right? So you want to make sure that the house is as picked up as possible, show ready, if you will. If at all possible, then you want to also have them depersonalize the home. We want to make sure that everybody walking in the door is seeing themselves in the home and not seeing the current owners in the home, right? So family photos, maybe travel mementos, things like that, their collection of China dolls, things like that. We would recommend for them to put those things away so that people are coming in and spending as much time looking at the house and not exploring the personal belongings of the seller, right?
And ideally, that stuff would be done through staging and through that consultation, but what Linda's saying is that if for some reason you are doing an open house for someone else or for your own sellers and those items have not been done, take a moment, go early and take a moment and do everybody a favor and depersonalize. Also cleaning, I mean, I can't tell you, well, we literally have what we call, this is our friend, the sparkle bucket. So we bring this to every single open house because, you know, we stage all of our listings, but also sometimes we go in there and it looks like a hellhole. You know, and, you know, thankfully we've taken pictures the day of staging, but sometimes, you know, people live hard in their homes. So we bring a sparkle bucket and literally sometimes have to clean it up before the open house happens, so.
Right. So part of the setting the expectations is get the help from your client or the seller, the listing agent, if at all possible, to make sure that you're not doing as much of that right before your open
Should we
house.
ask questions while you guys are going right now?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Are most of the houses are gonna have furniture and stuff like that in there, right? You're you're not actually doing like on TV where they've got a staging company come in and plugging in furniture and stuff like that, right? Or
Well, we do that, so we,
Okay,
not at the open house, we do that prior to
Okay.
putting the house on the market.
oh,
but-
okay,
But
okay,
yeah, so the reason we're talking about this is because sometimes you're doing an open house for other listing agents.
all right,
And if they don't stage or they don't depersonalize or the expectation isn't set with the seller, that might fall on you guys. to do.
Oh, okay.
So that's what.
oh, very good, okay.
Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah.
This ultimately, think of it this way, like this is, the home is your product ultimately, right? Apart from you and your services and your intellectual property in real estate. But it's a reflection of you as a realtor in that moment. So be invested in the way that it looks as much as you can so that you are also setting the best foot forward. So setting the expectations with the clients also looks like, you know, talking about what their willingness is to set hours for showings and the open house, right? So the open house conversation, the days that you're going to have it, times you're going to have it should be coupled with some market knowledge. So paying attention to what is going on in the market. For example, we recently shifted to doing open houses during the week. As well as a weekend if it hasn't gone under contract by that time, because homes are selling and going under contract by the weekend, then we are trying to filter people in as early as possible during the week so that as many people as possible are able to get eyes on their house. You also get the opportunity to help as many people coming through the door versus, you know, just only showings on the weekends or, you know, with the realtors.
I have a question about that. What time do y'all do it on weekdays versus weekends?
So we do 4 to 6, usually on Wednesday when we go live that same day. And then on the weekend, we do 11 to 1. But we always do a 2-hour window and we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
That's one of our talking points, but yeah.
Yeah, and you know, a couple of things to consider would be just what's around the home geographically, right? Like, is there school traffic that's gonna be coming by? Maybe a conversation with the seller, like if they know that people are passing by at 6 p.m. all the time, and maybe you shift your hours to accommodate what the flow of traffic looks like in that neighborhood. So things to consider, and again, part of that expectation conversation with your seller. So we talked about show ready. Anything else you want to add on to the expectation conversation?
Not for the expectations,
No?
I think. Yeah,
So,
yeah, it is important. I mean, we know as agents what we think should happen. And so it is important to kind of connect the dots for your sellers, right? And so when Linda says, you know, make sure that they're out of the house, I can't tell you how many times we're saying we're hosting an open house and they're like, excellent, I'm gonna go buy a new outfit, right? And they think that they're part of the open house. So, so anyway, that we just need to make sure that we say something like, you know, if you wanna go out to dinner and then we'll text you and let you know how many groups we're through, things like that. So it's a little more clear in a very polite way that they should not be part of the open house, right?
Could you talk a little bit about your timing if a property's on the market for a little bit longer than expected and maybe there's been a price reduction? Do you prepare people for having a second series of open houses around any of that kind of activity?
We do.
Mhm.
So if the house sits on the market and you do have a price reduction, then yes, we would go through all the steps again. And so I think we're about to get into the marketing stuff, is that
Open house preparation, then we'll go. over
preparation?
marketing.
Okay, yeah, and so then what, yeah,
Good.
but we do it all again.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So open house preparation, we have a few things that we want to take a look at before the day of, right? So you're getting all your supplies together, stuff like that. One of the main things that we can't stress enough is checking city ordinances for
Yes.
any rules, regulations around signage in that area. If you haven't already started purchasing signs for yourself, they can get pricey. So, and if you're borrowing others, please also keep that in mind, right? It costs money to replace them and they will be yanked out of the ground, taken up, thrown into dumpsters, stuff like that, if they are violating any of those city ordinances. So the area that you're in, just go into their county website and you should be able to
Go ahead.
get
No,
some
let her finish.
information.
Okay.
You should be able to get some information on areas that you're not able to put signs in the ground, things like, or where you are able to pop up A-frames similar to the one that we have set up outside here, or we have some other ones here to show you in a bit.
So for those of you in coaching who don't know, the coaching program has open house signs that you can check out. They are branded to the market center. When you're doing an open house, whether you get the email from Bria or I, there's a link where you can register to fill out and pick up signs. Do it early, because as we go into open house season, we might run out, or we need to know how to adjust the stuff. They are free until you lose them. And then you pay us what we paid for them so that we can replace them. But it is a great tool when you do not have the money yet to be spending $100, $200, $300 on signs. Let us help you. And then as you get your closings, take some of that money from your closing and go buy 10 signs. And then the next closing, go buy 10 more. So, but I just want to make sure everybody knew that that was available to you because you guys are all in the coaching program.
Okay. How long does it take to get a custom sign made?
Not that long. I think these took about maybe a week
A
to
week?
10 days. Yeah, right around there. Yeah.
And just fair warning, even if you check city ordinances, sometimes your signs go missing, which is so unfortunate. Yeah, we had that not long ago, happened not long ago, and we, by the act of God, always seem to find them. But we will search dumpsters, we will search, stores in the area. We'll ask restaurants or stores in the area if they may have picked them up or taken, did we violate something that, we weren't aware of, and just coming from a place of like complete apology and, things like that. But sometimes people just take them because they're bored. I don't know, but look around for
They're
them.
nice people.
I know, look around for them, and hopefully if that happens to you, then you're able to recover them. But we've had a few instances where we have been able to recover them.
When we were kids, we would take them and put them on the neighbor we didn't like's house in the yard.
So then.
Well, there you go. Thank you for solving the mystery for us.
Yeah, we always wondered.
Gian. And if you're gonna talk about it, just somebody shut up. What about if there's no place to set a sign and somebody has a corner lot and I wanna put this, okay. We have known each other for a long time.
Yes, exactly.
It's hard enough backseat drive, huh, Mark?
No, it's just, that's the questions that I know.
Yeah,
For sure.
yes, absolutely. So one of the things that we do in the open house preparation, talking about signs, is that we do sign maps. I have a couple of our examples here for y'all, and I'll pull one up over here too. Yeah, you can tell they've been used.
Yeah.
And so, thank you. So
Very
then
honest.
you'll see the,
I'm gonna pull one up for everyone online, give me a moment.
the arrows and then, I'm so sorry. Are they A-frames? Do you have like,
I have A-frames here.
no, do you have, are they just arrows and then wherever? It's not marked A-frame.
Some of them are on there.
Yeah, And honestly, it's a Google map, so, and then, we just highlight where we want the signs to go, and it makes it really easy for sign pickup as well. So, because we'll split the duties, so we'll have, you know, someone put the signs out, and then someone after the open house pick the signs up, and this map is really helpful. Your first house is on this map.
Really?
Show it so you can have a little sign.
Just kidding. I'm not going to flip this around, y'all. I'm so sorry, but so yeah, we.
Oh, yeah,
You
here's
just couldn't hear Diane. It is just a Google Maps screenshot, and then we're looking at the house here, right, in the red. And then we just take a look at the flow of traffic in the neighborhood, right? So we noticed that we have some major streets just flanking the property, so we want to pull all of the traffic from those areas. Sorry, it's sideways all. And then we'll mark whether they are A-frames, straightaways, or if they are turning arrows. So you see some A's right here for the A-frame.
For anyone who doesn't know, can they see?
Yeah,
So that's an A-frame, that'll go on cement, basically. And then this is an arrow, right? You want to make sure you're pointing it in the correct direction.
Might have to stop sharing.
Oh.
and-
Oh, to see.
wait, actually, I think it's.
Can you see? So you got the arrow and then A-frame. A-frame and then a straightaway. Okay.
right, yeah. Yeah, so one of the, if you're not familiar with the area, one of the things that we would recommend, maybe the day before, a few days before, when you're prepping. When you're prepping is drive the neighborhood, drive the area, and then take a look, like, where is there a lot of cement where I may not be able to stick something in the ground and I need an A-frame to put up? Where is there grass, or maybe even just like rock beds where I am able to stick a sign in the ground as well. Another great tool, a couple of other great tools to bring whenever you're putting up signs are a mallet for you to be able to get things into the ground if you lack some strength in your hands for that day, or it's bitter cold out.
It's the ground's frozen.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it's frozen, we also come out with a drill as well, so then we can drill into the ground and then be able to get some assistance in getting those signs in and secured enough for them to just stay up throughout the open house.
Do you get a lot of people complaining about signs in their yards, like neighbors?
So, and that's a great question, and that's what Margaret was asking as well, so do you want to talk about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so as a courtesy, we will knock on doors before we're sticking something in their yard. If we're able to get a hold of someone, we'll ask for permission. And hopefully they'll give us permission. If they don't, then we'll just go to the next spot that we're able to put a sign there. If someone's not home, then another thing that we will do, if that's just a prime location or one of the only areas we can continue to direct traffic, is that we have these little $5 Starbucks gift cards with a little "sorry we missed you" note, and thank you for letting us put a sign in your yard.
That's just if they're not home, do always knock and try to get permission, but we've not ever had any blowback when we've left something like this.
Right, yeah, and I'll share it over here too. So for everyone online.
As someone who often does this open house at the same house 2 days in a row, I try to remember to ask about the next day too. So you don't have to come in and ask
Ask
them the
twice.
next day.
Yeah, no,
I'll
that's
read it.
good.
She also just says, "Sorry we missed you. Please accept this as a small thank you for allowing us to place an open house sign in your yard." Yeah, and it just has a little $5 Starbucks gift card.
And I will tell you,
Do
sorry.
do you guys still give those, even if you do talk to someone, give them the?
No, if they give permission, then because it would get really expensive. So just if they're not home and we really do, especially a corner lot, like if that's prime, then yeah, we would definitely put a gift card on there, so. But no, typically, if we get permission, then we just. call it.
We
Yeah,
usually find like public thoroughfare areas that you can put the signs though, without having to go into the.
Yeah, most of it's neighborhood, right?
it really does, depends on how deep in the neighborhood you are, and yeah, there are a lot of factors. I will share a story that I was on another team once upon a time, and the person, my teammate that was doing the open house with me, stuck a sign in someone's yard and the person flipped out. They came over to our open house and threw the sign at us and screamed and really took a fit. So I was like, okay, duly noted. That was how I learned the hard way.
You just own the house?
Today I would tell them. Yeah.
You make that on a weekend morning when you knock more than once.
Oh,
So even if I saw this one in the window, I thought she was looking at you, so I rang the bell again, that was a mistake. So even if I see someone, I don't ring them.
That's good.
Self-preservation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's a good time to put one of those gift cards in their door jam, right? They saw you, you know, you didn't ask for permission. If you are brave enough to still put a sign up, then maybe give them a little thank you card.
Yeah.
Just to the other side of the scale, to Diane's story, I've gotten leads or contact information from people when I'm asking for permission to put signs on their yard as well. Apparently not everybody asks, or not many people ask, let's just say, right? So I've had owners come out and be like, you're the first one in 15 years that's ever asked me. And then that just sparked the conversation and just continue the conversation. They start asking about the house we're selling, things like that. And then ultimately I offer something like an update on the house, something really non-invasive and stuff. And I'm able to get contact information that way. And then you just continue your follow up, right? So just to the other side, the other side of the scale.
One of the other things that I have in my car as part of my quote kit is I think I don't have enough of the A-frames and I need more than I like, there's just not enough places to put. So I have a couple bungee cords in my car. This sounds crazy, but like, if you're at like a close to a median or something, and there's all these other signs or whatever, you can bungee one of those arrow signs to a post. Surrounding it around and everything else. It's a little thing that you might keep just in case.
Yeah, I agree. Or the tie wraps, because
The ties are, but
Yeah.
but yeah.
The ties are always great.
The ties are great for so many things too.
So many.
They are,
Yeah.
goodness, yes, they are.
Yes, yeah, I've used those to
Fix those.
Yeah.
fix the A-frames or even put up like a realtor sign that's
Like
fine.
an iconic or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But somebody stole it from me, and so I started tying all of them.
Yeah, I did one of your signs, I zip tied one of your signs one day.
Yes, they are, they're awesome.
Yep. That's a great segue into just like timing of your preparation, right? Give yourself plenty of time, not only to prepare, get all of your supplies together, get them all in your car and stuff like that, but also whenever you're putting signs out, as a rule of thumb, we have our signs out at a minimum of 2 hours before the open house, right? And we are also giving us enough time not only to set them all out, but if we do run into an issue where we need more A-frames, we need more arrows, what have you, then we have time to go back to pull from our supplies and then come back and make sure that we are thoroughly signed, if you will. Yeah. Yeah, another sign.
You don't do it a day before or anything like that?
No, we don't do the day before, we do the day of. Yeah, and then we take them down as soon as the open house is done.
Also a lesson learned the hard way, that we did do them
They
the
steal.
evening before, and either they get lost or people just get irate and will come into the open house the next day and say, you know,
I was
I
here.
feel like that was misleading and blah, blah, blah. Even though we have a rider, we just got a lot of flack for it, so doing it the morning of, or a couple hours before the evening ones.
Yeah, but speaking of riders, we do put this up on the arm of the for sale sign in the yard of the house, so we'll put this up minimum of 3, we tried 3 to the day before.
Yeah.
1 to 3 days, maybe.
1 to 3 days. 3 to 1 days.
3 to 1 day, so we'll put this on there, we'll take it off, swap it out for a Sunday one if we're doing another open house or what have you, right? Make sure you take it off after the open house, again, just, you don't want to anger people whenever they're trying to look at your listing or get a hold of you for any reason, so we have those go up as well.
And that's a rider.
Thank you. Open house ready to go. For this one, we have Velcro the numbers, so we're able to easily interchange them. So we did that on both sides. And that works out really well, especially, you know, as the market changes and we accommodate whatever needs that neighborhood or that house may need.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions right now?
How many signs?
How many signs?
Yeah.
Many. You wanna talk about that?
Yes, yeah, so, overkill basically is what we go for. So whenever, if you're looking at the map that we passed out, so A-frames, we try to do 3 to 5 signs in a row, right? So we wanna grab people's attention. We're also intentional about putting them, one, on the side of the road that people are going to be driving on. We don't want them distracted on the opposite side of the road, right? And we want to give them about 1 or 2 car lengths between signs and probably triple, quadruple that space before they have to turn, right? So we're starting several car lengths before their turn. So if they are in the middle lane, anything like that, you catch their attention with the first one. Oh, here's the second one. The third one really piqued my interest. Okay, I'm coming over and across to take the turn that you're asking me to take for the open house.
I'm gonna add that we actually do at every single open house get people that say, I saw all of your signs, great job signing. So not everybody is going out intentionally looking for open houses, but sometimes you pique their curiosity and they come in and they're actually the ones that are unrepresented. And so, so signs are a great marketing
Do you use
tool.
balloons at all?
We don't use balloons.
There was another Keller agent. Keller Williams agent that did an open house in my neighborhood and they had ballooned every single sign. It was very, very visible. Yeah, it was very visible.
It's hard to drive those suckers in the backseat. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they have those, like the latex balloons that you can use also, so like think of like the yoga balls that you fill up, so they have those if you wanted to go that route, and didn't wanna be, you know, buying Mylar balloons like every weekend and stuff. Reusable and better for the environment, they're not gonna fly away, stuff like that, right? So
Exactly.
there's that too.
And then we utilize these flags as well. I forget how many we have, but we have quite a few. So it looks
I'm
like
gonna pick it up for
if
them.
you've ever been to our open houses. So we'll put 2 and flank the entryway of the home, right? And then sometimes we'll put them, if it's on a really busy road, like if we're signing on Wadsworth, if we know the turn's coming up, then we'll put one like towards the corner so they know to turn with
Those
an
take
arrow
it
as
in
well.
ground?
They do.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, there's a spike that goes with them.
So we'll continue with preparation. We talked about our sparkle bucket already. So we will bring that with us anywhere that we're going to be. We just never know if the seller's already moved out or if they've, you know, started to just get rid of things. Sometimes they don't have cleaning supplies there for you to be able to sparkle and make it shine and look good. Couple of things that we want to point out that we have in here. We have candles in case it doesn't smell good. You want to think of appealing to all of the 5 senses, right? So if people are walking in, ideally you want them to spend as much time in the home as possible and them they be comfortable. So I don't know if y'all have noticed, but if people come in, sometimes they walk by the kitchen island and they'll run their fingers down the counter. They're obviously going to be opening up cabinets, they're going to be opening up drawers. You want them not to touch them and it feel grimy, right? It's part of the
Use jelly on the
experience.
door handle, that's not fun. That's not a fun experience.
Right, yeah, whether it's your listing or not, again, you're the one setting, not the example, but it's your best foot forward. if you
Yeah.
will, Right,
It reflects on us.
there you go,
Right.
that's what I wanted to say.
And, you know, the candle and she's got this, Osium spray. I know Bob uses Photo Dan as well, but we just had a listing that My clients had 5 dogs, they rescued dogs, and let me tell you, it smelled like wet dog the minute you walked on the floor, it hit you like a ton of bricks, so. So even like I had them make sure it was professionally cleaned, all the windows were washed, because the dog prints were all over the windows, and I mean. We all love our dogs, right, and it's Colorado. So even that, it doesn't get rid of the dog smell. They shampoo the carpet and that kicks up more odor, if you know anything about shampooing dog carpet. So this stuff worked like a miracle. So you spray it and leave the room for,
It's strong.
yeah.
Yeah,
like
you wanna-
half hour, let it dissipate, and it works so well. That and a couple candles in strategic locations and all is well. So, but yeah, you have candles and have this stuff. This is great.
Yeah.
Osium.
Right, right. Another sense, I mean, taste, so we have snacks that we will bring with us for the open houses as well. So depending on, let's say the listing price, so like, what I mean by that is like a luxury home versus, let's say a starter, like entry price point type of home, then we will adjust the type of snacks or, you know, what we have available for anybody coming in. But I mean, I suffer from getting hangry. I don't know if anybody else does, and yeah, if you're looking at multiple houses that day, or you happen to pass by on your way to brunch or something, then, you know, we want to give them that little break between us, our stop, and then the next one, right? So, we have, for most of our homes, we have like a little 3-tiered tray that we have, and we have, you know, the chips and fruit snacks. We have Capri Suns for the kiddos, or for even the adults that are still kids at heart and stuff.
Always
Candies,
waters,
always
yeah.
waters as well.
Yeah, and it just depends, so Linda has a friend who bakes cookies, and so for our higher end homes, she makes, she puts our logo on a house. And so we'll do that for like a spread or a broker open or something like that too. So it just depends, and there's a lot of different things you can do. But just know your audience, right? Think about who's gonna come in for that house and what they might, that's really what it's about. We do. And that's usually an evening one, not the morning one, so. But we'll do boxes of Joe for coffee, and you know, if it's cold out, or always cold waters if you know someone's gonna bike up, or if you're on a trailhead or something like that. And oftentimes, just because we're on that subject, we have dog dishes with water in the summer because people often will walk up with their dogs.
Smart, I've never seen that before.
Yeah, especially there's so many trails here, yeah, and people love that, so. Yeah. So what?
I was gonna say, imagine Mickey do serve drinks, but they're always clear, so white wine. And that just was the tip that I thought.
Yeah,
The
it's
luxury point,
Yeah, if there's carpet,
Yeah.
if there's no carpet, then you have a little more leeway, but yeah, for sure, I get that. Yeah, I guess we're just a little more living on the edge.
Well, the last time we had Red Wynette, they had brand new carpets, but they also put down plastic.
Yes.
All over all of the carpets. So, yeah,
True.
we were brave.
Yeah, sure. Or stupid, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah, depends on what type of scale you're on, right?
Exactly.
All right, so we talked about our snacks, let's see, what else? So hosting, we do a host meeting, right before the open house starts, right? So.
Reminder. Oh, yeah, okay, do you have it?
I do.
Okay, good. Sorry.
We do a host meeting that, we do right before the open house. Ideally, we've seen that we will skip it if we do it at the house. So if you can do it beforehand, I would recommend that. Your signs are already up, if your flags are up, people are gonna try to, you know, come in early, and I'm not one to have someone come back later. I will let them come in early if we're already there. So we will skip the host meeting if, you know, we have it at the home. So ideally you'd want to do it off-site. I would recommend that if you're at all possible. So the host meeting, if you will, is going to be you sharing information, let's say you're the listing agent or you're hosting for the listing agent, then they're sharing information about the house, right? So how old is the roof, or what were the most recent updates? The age of it, I would recommend looking up the MLS listing beforehand as well, getting yourself as educated as possible on the home. But there are some things that only the listing agent knows, right? They may hear things like, I don't know, the next door neighbor always waters my plants while I'm on vacation, or something to that effect, and those are great little things that are great to share. Or the tree in the back is an apple tree, the one in the front is a crab apple tree.
And it's purple.
Yeah.
It's not just a tree with leaves, so.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, the more you know about a house, and especially if it's not yours, just, it gives you talking points in the open house, other than, so how'd you hear about us, I mean, you know that they heard about you online or whatever, but we also do this open house binder. And so some of you may do it as well, but what we do is we'll have the MLS, sheet in there. That's for some reason people like to see them. We'll have extra copies, especially in case we run out of brochures or they don't want to do a digital download. We'll have the seller's property disclosure in there. So if there are questions on ages of systems, HVAC, roof, anything, you'll have that information. We provide other active listings in the neighborhood, right? You're going to come from contribution. If the house you're hosting the open house of does not work for the person, we're not going to force feed them the house. We're going to say, well, are you looking specifically in this neighborhood? Because I can show you what else is active. When you come from contribution, they're more likely to work with you than if you're like, well, see ya, good luck, right? So, so we do have the actives in the neighborhood, and then we have, as Linda said, we do have a list of any upgrades that the seller has done. We have the definitions of working relationships in case someone comes in and they're unrepresented, and let's say it's your sister's house. You know that you have to treat that buyer like a client if they do want to work with a customer, if they do want to work with you. So you want to disclose that relationship before they start spilling information that could really damage their chances of getting the house or whatever, right? And then we also put in here, this is one in West Arvada that this condo was in litigation. So if there's any pertinent documents about that, then we'll put that in there as well. So this binder is always at the open house. So if anyone asks anything, they can take a look through here. So it's just a really great resource for anyone who comes in, and even the people who host the open house. Okay,
Yeah, and you may not remember everything that was just told you during the host meeting, right? So if the listing agent, let's say that you're working for, goes down the list of everything and you're overwhelmed with the information, then this is a great way to still be able to answer a question and not be caught flat-footed, relying solely on your memory. Yeah.
How far ahead do you have your meeting?
you can do it the day before.
The day before?
Mhm.
So in case we need to, like, get those documents or.
Oh, yeah,
We
all
do
these
this
are
for every
done.
open house, so
Yeah.
we just have a binder, that's part of our open house kind of kit, so
Okay.
yeah, we do one for every open house.
Right, yeah. And I mean, another thing I like to remind people is if you don't know an answer to the question, don't just answer the question. It's okay to not know, just let them know that it's not something that you know of, but you're going to find out. Another great way to get contact information, to secure leads, stuff like that. You're still coming from contribution. Right, the example I always give is like when you go shopping and you're asking for your size in a shirt or a shoe or something, it always feels, a little bit better, and you get the warm and fuzzy, because they're like, let's just go back and check in the back, even if they know everything's out front already, but they're trying to help you, right? So, yeah, it's a little bit.
Charles told me that nobody has those brokers. Fortunes that open house.
We do.
I don't listen to checklist on that is also you guys are doing open houses for your listings.
Right.
Right, a lot of
yes.
what you guys are doing when you get started is you're doing open houses for other listing agents.
Right,
So
Right.
a lot of this you may not have available, but what a great concept of the information to get from the listing agent, or as Linda says, you know what, I'm not 100% sure, let me check back and I'll get back to you. And then again, right, grab the contact.
Yeah, I wanted to add, the first client that I got from the open house, they had a question that I didn't know the answer to, and the listing agent didn't answer my text during when they were there, so I got their info, followed up, and then continued to follow up and provide value, and that was how I ended up converting her.
That's
Oh,
correct.
okay. Yeah.
It does.
No,
Yeah.
it does,
Yeah. There's opportunity everywhere, just a matter of, knowing how to recognize it and then how to like step in and make it to your benefit, right? Or their benefit, because we're here with you, it's their benefit.
That's right.
What else? So just be knowledgeable in the neighborhood as well, know what schools matriculate into what schools that home matriculates into.
Know where the trailheads are. If you know that there's trails, you go and drive around the neighborhood and find the trailheads, you can speak to that. If you're gonna point out anything, I know we joked about the tree, but if you are gonna point it out, know what it is, because people will know and they'll call you on it. And just, schools, anything that's valuable information about that neighborhood should try to get to know. And I mean, Google is fabulous for learning all kinds of fun stuff.
So that's like leads us into marketing. We've talked a little bit about well, not a little bit, we talked about our signs already for the open house. A few other things that we do to market the open house are our brochures. So those are here if you would, and then I'll pop them onto the screen as well.
I'll give you one.
Oh, I have them over here.
So we do, so these are, our brochures that we do, these are our luxury brochures, so they're just in line with the luxury color, color scheme. So, we also do a digital brochure, pretty much anyone under 35 is not taking anything paper, they're gonna take a digital brochure. And then you don't have to print as many, which is, it's a beautiful thing when you run out. Let me show you, let me help you get a digital brochure, right? Whereas before, we would like, if we did a Saturday, Sunday, we'd be running back to Office Depot to get another stack of brochures. And so we don't have to do that anymore. So anyway, we do brochures for any price point home.
you mail those out prior or
We don't
anything
mail
like that?
those, no,
Okay,
that's
don't mail.
just,
Okay, so
just for the showings and open
okay.
houses.
You don't take them in the neighborhood or anything either?
Nope,
Okay.
do we have those?
We do,
Okay.
yeah. So one of the things that we do take into the neighborhood are our open house flyers.
Oh, okay.
That's what we're talking about.
Mhm. So before the class started, we were talking amongst ourselves about just door knocking and people not wanting to, let's say, be intimidated by the no soliciting signs on doors, things like that. We do our flyers, and let me pull up one for our online folks. There it is. So we do our flyers as an invitation. So you are invited to our open house. And it's a way for us to be able to soften the conversation should someone come out and be like, I have a no soliciting sign, you're not even supposed to be knocking on my door type of thing. But we will go out anywhere from 1 to 3 days before the open house, and we will door knock on the neighborhood, invite the neighborhood to the open house. We'll do a minimum of 100 doors around the house, and then if other people are feeling more ambitious, then we will up how many flyers and
100 to like 250 door knocks. So understand, this is where you make your money, because your open houses, if nobody comes in on their own, you've got an audience of 0, right? This is how you get an audience. So go and door knock, talk to the neighbors, because if one neighbor is selling, the little saying, another neighbor is selling. we're always like, oh, come by, and if they can't make it, they'll tell you, oh, I'm not gonna be home, great, well, I'll be back and I'll let you know how it went. I'll let you know how many offers we got, right, that kind of thing, so you're inviting yourself back for when you go under contract, but talking to the neighbors is how you get your listings, I mean. This neighborhood in particular, what is this, number 4?
So.
Yeah, number 4 in this neighborhood, literally on door. All like right around the corner from each other.
Right, yeah,
When
And-
one's selling, others
Yeah.
are selling,
yeah.
always,
I used to not go to open houses because I didn't want to be that snoopy neighbor, right?
and this allows
Right,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, we always say we love when neighbors come, we stage all of our listings, come check out the staging, I mean, we make it goofy, we just say, come in, right, we want them there. If they take the time on a Saturday, I wouldn't go to an open house if I had other things to do, so if they take the time on a Saturday to walk into your open house, they're there for a reason, even if they don't disclose why they're there. They're thinking about either selling or they know someone who's selling, and you just start that conversation. Give them permission to come in, give them permission to be nosy. For sure.
And they're total tattletales too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if they know that their neighbor's selling, or their neighbor's getting a divorce, or, you know, like Mary from across the street over there is probably about to go to hospice, things like that, then, you know, those are opportunities for you to be able to start a relationship, go knock on that door, what have you. So, yeah.
Can you role play a door knock?
Yeah, sure. Who do you want to be?
I'll knock on your door.
Okay.
So,
Be nice, man.
I will. I like that you have to tell me
Most
that.
people won't be though, right?
No, they are. 98% of them are super nice.
Okay.
Really, it's very few people that are curmudgeon.
yeah, don't hang on to those. That's all about them, not about you at all.
That's true. That's, yeah.
What is that about solar and?
Oh, windows. All right, go.
That'll get them.
Hi,
How are you this morning?
good. How are you doing?
Good. I'm Linda with Keller Williams, and we are helping your neighbors sell their home just around the block over here. So I'm here to invite you to the open house.
Which house is that?
Oh, it's actually 6301, right around the corner. So you go down the street.
Oh, the one, they have a lot of dogs.
They do have a lot
Yes,
of
they're always walking in the neighborhood. I know them.
Are you gonna miss them? Yes.
Yeah, oh, that's too bad. Are they saying, well,
You know, they're just looking for a change, so they're still trying to figure out where they're going.
oh, okay.
Yeah, but we'd love to have you come over. We do stage all of our listings.
You do?
We do, yeah.
Like a company, do you work with a company?
Actually, we have a warehouse with furnishings, decorations, all the stuff that we may need to be able to accent the features of the home and be able to just showcase the home as best as possible. Yeah. Any chance that you know anybody that's looking to buy or sell in the next 6 months? I know we're only gonna have one lucky buyer that's gonna be able to get that place.
Well, don't tell them I told you, but you know that, see that right over there, that blue house?
Oh, yeah.
That they,
The one with the gold SUV?
yeah,
Yeah.
I heard that they're, don't tell them I told you.
No,
Okay,
absolutely.
I did hear that they're.
Lives or field.
Okay, yeah, I did. So you should knock on that door. You should invite them.
Really? Really? Do you know them? Do you know them well?
Mhm.
Oh, well, then maybe you bring them over. Yeah.
Okay,
A little-
that.
Yeah, you can walk on over Saturday morning. We're gonna be there from 11 to 1. We'd love to have you over.
Sounds good.
Yeah. How about, any chance that you're looking for, any information on the market? You know, it is changing, so.
I heard that. I'm not, but
Okay.
actually my daughter is getting ready to buy and I don't know. I mean, I don't even know how kids afford a house, I mean, anymore. So I don't know. She may hold off because the interest rates and I just don't know.
Yeah, there are definitely a lot of changes, so I can empathize with that. You know, one of my beliefs is that knowledge is power. And just knowing what's going on in the market and just getting educated on what you are able to do, or maybe getting a plan together on what needs to be done for her to qualify, then you know, that always relieves a little bit of stress and can help you make a decision, can help her make a decision ultimately, right? So is she available for me to chat with by chance?
No, she's away this
Okay,
weekend.
okay. No problem. Well, would you be open for me following up with you or her so that I can check in and see, you know, what I can do to help her just get a little bit more information on what's going on in the market and what she could potentially.
Yeah, why not? I mean, I guess at this point, it can't hurt, right?
It can, no, never. All right, well then I'll take that contact information and I'll see you at the open house.
I will see you Saturday.
Perfect, thank you.
So it's just a conversation, right? And you go with whatever the person is talking about, right? You're honestly trying to just engage them. And so listening is gonna be your number one power tool, really. So yeah.
Yeah.
Linda.
A good way to maybe diffuse an angry homeowner. One of the things that I use is complimenting something like at their front door. Or a decoration they might have on their lawn, things like that. That typically will have them just, you know, calm down a little bit. I'm not here just for business, right? Or maybe I was, and now I'm just like interested in how ornate your front door is or what have you. And they love talking about themselves. So if I can, you know, shift it to about them versus like, this is why I'm here bothering you this morning, then that can help pull out a little bit more conversation from them. Another thing I like to do too is make sure that I step away, I give them some space. I don't know if you noticed during our role playing earlier.
Guy, if you're tall, I
Right.
mean, Elizabeth is 5'11" on our team, and she needs to step even further back than Lynn and I are short. But honestly, step back, you knock on the door and step back, give them space, because it's very ominous to be like, right? I mean, that's just so uncomfortable, so don't be that person, yeah.
Right, yeah, give them some space, yeah.
Mindset is everything, guys. When you go out and door knock for an open house, be excited. Be yourself. Do not, if you don't like the floral wreath on the door, don't say you like the floral wreath on the door. It's gonna come off as
And
disingenuous.
don't say you don't like it either.
But don't be yourself, right? That's just not you. I mean, Linda and I are extremely different personalities, and if that's not you, you find another way that works with your personality. Right, so anyway, yeah, mindset.
Use your superpowers, right?
Yes,
For this
We all
humor, for
have them.
example.
yes, I am
Yeah.
self-deprecating to the core. People, like, I'm just, right, and so that's usually how I get people to open up and chat, but. A floral wreath, I'm probably not gonna even see it, let alone comment on it. And so, yeah, I just miss those details, just they don't come into my purview, so.
Right, yeah.
You go out as teams or as individuals?
We go out as teams.
From a safety standpoint.
Safety, and it's fun, I think
Yeah, I
you
think
guys could just go together. Team up and
Okay.
just go together, why not? I mean, it is a safety thing, but it is so much more fun, so much more.
It helps with the mindset too, especially if you're just getting out there and, you know, it's your first few times of door knocking, then. You know, if you have someone, let's say you split up the street and I'm on the north side, you're on the south side, what have you. Then you can download midway, or, you know, you did have a poor experience and you want to just kind of shake it off a little bit, but you need to process through it, then you have that buddy available to be able to.
I met two people on doorstep.
Mm.
Two on the doorstep, only when we're training.
Okay,
No, that's intimidating, that can be intimidating, so no.
okay.
Or people think you're religious.
Yes, oh yes, and I wear a lot of black, as you can see. And so, when I'm on the, I mean, I've had people say, oh, I thought you were gonna, you know, give me a Bible. or
Crossword
something."
time.
Yeah, whatever. And so, yeah, that happens too, but yeah, no, you don't have to go on the doorstep, of course, yeah.
Something that's worked for me too, since I'm farming a specific area, is I'm often near a home of someone that I know they came to an open house before, and I'll literally just write their names on it. Would love to see you.
Yes, yeah, great.
And people love that.
Oh, yeah, a handwritten note on there?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, goes a long way.
Another thing that I do, or that, you know, some of us will do, is I leave messages on a doorbell, the ring doorbell, right? So some people are answering me through the doorbell, but if they don't ask me what I want, if they're not available, things like that, then, you know, I'll get into the camera's view and I'm like, hey, I'm Keller Williams, and I'll show the flyer. give them my little spiel, I'm inviting you to the open house, I'm leaving this in your door jam, see you there. You know, like, take advantage of the fact that, you know, that they're looking, just looking.
There you go. You're right.
Watching
Like
through my
that.
ring.
No, a lot of people are like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I've done the same thing similar to what Stephanie talked about is before I go out, I would have 2 sets of flyers and on the back of one set, it would just be a handwritten note. Sorry, I missed you. See you tomorrow at the open house, Margaret, because that way they knew I was there
Mhm.
and I didn't hire some kid to just go litter their front door.
Right.
And it was so interesting how many people will come back with those and say, they walk in the door and they say, which one of you is Stacy or which one of you is Margaret? Because we left those, and then the key is if you've pre-written them, don't hand somebody a flyer that you're
Yeah.
talking to that says, sure, I missed you. Yeah, sure, you told it, yeah, bye.
It's true, and I'm sure it'll happen. Once.
That's great.
Online, do you guys have any questions so far?
So I should stop sharing.
Oh, sorry, they can hear you right now.
You can hear us. Silence.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah, they're soaking it all in.
Yeah.
I'm telling myself. they're taking it in. Okay, so any questions, any other questions on marketing itself?
So other than door knocking,
Mhm.
what else do you do to tell people about your open house? Because I know there are other things you all do.
We do purchase Facebook ads, and then we boost them and then we send them out. Each one of us will send it out to our own, personal Facebook page. But it'll talk about the open house and, yeah, so we do
So
that.
if you're not familiar with what boosting a Facebook ad is, it's just you're paying for it to be boosted out to like you can change how much you want to pay for the ad one and then how far out in mileage you want it to reach based off of either your home office or the home
house
itself. Either one.
It's
Yeah.
short money, guys. You can send as little as $15 and you know, you'll see that people will share it or they'll say, I saw it online. We do also put it in the MLS and it gets indicated out when you're hosting an open house, you put in, you can actually put that in the MLS as a specific place. And then the other home sites will pick it up and show that. you
That's
have
on your
it.
business page then, right?
So this is on the MLS that I'm talking about.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. About
Sorry,
that.
Facebook, yes, is on our Lantern
Okay.
page, and then we also share it to our personal page,
Okay,
so.
I had to lose one time and it. So.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause I didn't have
It's- it's
anything, I just wanted to see whether. it
Oh,
was
right,
good.
yeah,
Yeah. Have you all noticed a difference or have you tried between going through Facebook and going through Command?
we have not tried going through command.
Okay.
I think I wish Chris Floyd was here, the command because we're set up as a team. and it-
Okay.
And it wasn't, ready.
As an individual, I noticed that if I go through Command, I can make it specific to a region. Whereas the time I did it through Facebook, it went to other states. It seemed to have no rhyme or reason. And it could be the settings, but I just want to encourage people either way to make sure you're setting it up so you're getting people who will actually be interested.
Oh,
You
interesting.
can set the location on Facebook, however, KW has an agreement with Facebook for ads, so we get a better rate and they push it out more. So I.
To go through Command.
To go through,
Yeah.
yeah, because they are counting you as one of KW's clients, not just as a random person on Facebook. So you can get more bang for your buck by going through Command, and they also have some of the settings done on the back end already, so it's less confusing.
Oh, great
So
stuff.
if you're able to do that, you're not a team.
Yeah, not yet for us, but I have to look for them much recently.
They do keep
We all,
updating things.
I know, they do,
I know,
so it's, yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing that we do, I don't know if you guys have heard of Sly Broadcast, so what that is, it's just a program you can sign up for. You do a pre-recorded message, it bypasses, then you plug in as many phone numbers as you can get from the neighborhood, right? And then you send out this pre-recorded message to the people about the open house. That's another thing tool that we've done, and we literally have people come in and saying, thanks so much for calling and inviting me to the open house. I mean, just neighbors not knowing that it's just a pre-recorded message, right? It's not expensive and, super simple to do. I'm not sure what resource you got. You've pulled it, right?
So we killed cold directory because of lack of use. So
Ah.
you can get phone numbers from land title. It's a very small cost for the neighborhood. And then you just wanna make sure that the numbers that you're loading in are not on the do not call list.
Yes, very, very important.
That's a biggie.
That would be really bad. Yeah, so anyway, that's another thing that we do. So door knocking, live broadcasts, Facebook ads.
Yeah, I just want to circle back to the Facebook real quick. We are intentional about interacting with our posts as well. You don't want to post something and abandon it, right? So if people are commenting on it, make sure you're liking the post or responding to their comments, stuff like that. But on our business page, we will like it, love it, whatever, and then we each have a goal of doing a minimum of 3 to 4 words of a comment on any of our posts, and then we share it. And we'll do the same on our personal page or business page, whichever one you have. Yeah, so the more interaction it has, the more it's gonna get naturally boosted, if you will, for free.
Does the business page go out past your followers? I honestly just don't know.
If you boost it, it does.
I'll maybe boost- Okay.
Mhm.
Question, how do you create the digital brochure?
The digital brochure, so for the physical ones, the design itself we do on Canva. And then once the design is complete, then we take the URL for that particular project. And then we go to QR Monkey. It's a free website, so you go onto QR Monkey, you plug in the URL in there, and then it'll create the QR code for you. Yeah. There are other websites that you can use that will also do like, will embed a logo in the middle if you wanted it to, or your name, what have you. So you can do something like that as well.
And good old command will be good for us. I like command because I just have the same design and I just plug in different information.
Yeah, you can make it in,
Yeah.
as well. Same thing with Canva.
Yeah.
We leave templates and then.
Yeah, okay.
Change that,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it just depends on whatever, I mean, Canva is just a little more user friendly for someone as old as me, so, anyway, yeah.
Showing the online quotes, so we have this apart from our physical brochures as well, in case we run out, or people just prefer to not take paper with them. All right. So day of the open house.
Day of the open house, you believe we're just at the open house now? It is a lot of pre-work, but yet honestly, I mean, that's how you get your people there and it's so important to do that.
Right.
So, and then Stephanie, I'm just gonna follow back up on your part, when you said, do we do the same thing? We do all of this again, so if there's a price decrease, then we will make new flyers, re-door knock, let people know that the price has been, lowered, and remind them to come to the open house, okay?
Think of it this way, you're showcasing your hustle, like
Mhm.
how you work and how you will be working for them. Should they, want to buy or sell with you, then you're basically, it's a job interview, think of it that way.
It
too,
is.
Right? Like,
Absolutely.
it's always a job interview. Any conversation you're in, once you're in real estate, it's a job interview.
And treat it that way. It's funny because we did do an open house that, and we were door knocking, and Meredith, one of our agents, she was walking very fast and went up to a house and knocked on the door and left the flyer before they even got to the door. It was an older couple. And then the day of the open house, this guy came into the open house and was like, "Who's Meredith?" And we thought, uh-oh, we did something wrong, right? And she's like, "I am," and she's very soft spoken, and he's like, "I love your hustle. I'm gonna sell with you." And that was us.
That's great.
So you just never know, you never know.
Right, okay, yeah, I love it, love that story. Okay, some of these things we've already gone over, so I'm just gonna go down the list of them. So the day of the open house, again, signage, we do minimum of 2 hours before the open house. We are asking to put stuff on people's lawns if we need to. We'll do a Starbucks card as well. We do tend to show up about a minimum of 45 minutes before the open house as well. You're putting up flags, you're setting up your snacks, making sure that we're just ready.
And making sure the house is ready, all the toilet seats should be down, it seems like such a dumb thing, but honestly, it makes a difference. Trash bins, whether in the bathrooms, kitchen, whatever, tuck them into the garage if there is one, tuck them somewhere else if there is not one. Sometimes, you'll pull up to an open house and there'll be empty trash bins out front because whoever, waste management has just come and emptied the trash. Bring them around the side of the house. That is our job. Please understand that. It is our job to make sure that that house is show ready. The seller doesn't always know and they're overwhelmed. So as much as you can tell them something, believe me, trust me when I say that they're gonna only retain about 10% of what you tell them and be like, oh, I never thought about that. So it's incumbent upon us to do that, right?
Right, yep. Apart from toilet seats, all lights on, all lamps on, all of the blinds or shades are drawn up as well. You want it to be inviting. Again, think of those 5 senses that you're trying to engage, right? You want them to spend time in the space. The more time they spend in there, the more in love they're going to be with it, ideally, and they're gonna show that with their pockets, their money, their offers,
Their wallets.
their wallet, all of that. So question, why are you at the open house?
Who knows why you host an open house?
To answer questions about the listing.
Okay. Very good. And
To get leads,
get leads. Okay.
clients.
Okay,
Okay.
anybody online? Why are you?
To
at
build relationships.
Okay. Any other answers?
To sell the house.
Thank you. Which is what you're saying. So yes, the number one goal is to sell the house, especially if you're hosting an open house on someone else's behalf.
What was for a second?
Okay, it's good. If you're hosting on someone else's behalf, they've allowed you to host their open house, which is really generous. And the goal is to sell that house, right? Open houses work. So many times we sell open houses to an open house. We sell the listing to someone who's come into the open house. In fact, the majority of the time, really. But that is the number one goal. And secondary to that is to get leads, right?
And help people.
And help people. Absolutely.
Yep, absolutely. So a great reminder because, yeah, I know I often need to be reminded of it. It's my number one lead source. So I'm going to come in like from getting some leads today.
Oh, yeah, she's like that. She's like, huddle, come on, let's go. I mean, yeah.
Let's go team. Okay.
Yeah.
No. But on that same note, then we've talked about mindset just a little bit, right? So we do recommend to manifest how the open house is going to go for you, right? I'm going to walk away with one listing lead, or I'm going to walk away with one lead, however you feel like you want is gonna ring true for you and feels like it's what you need, right? And you're gonna continue to think of that. I'm getting a lead, I'm getting a lead, I'm getting a lead. Door knocking, the same thing. One of the things that I think is a bold teaching that I learned, where it was like, people are home and people want to talk to me. People are home and people want to talk to me, right? Yeah, and that helps you just, keep your motivation, especially whenever you open up for your open house and no one came in for the first hour, or you only had one person come in, you only need one lead to your next transaction, right? So yeah, keep on top of that mindset, get rid of the head trash and negativity as much as you can, even if it's just for those couple of hours. One of the things that we joke about, but that we will do sometimes is we'll do a power pose. Have you guys heard of, the Wonder Woman? Or for men, it's like the strong biceps, or keep your feet up on the chair at the desk or something, right?
Yeah.
Do that for 2 minutes, it'll help your testosterone levels go up, your serotonin levels go up, and then not all of your anxiety, but your anxiety starts to subside a little bit, right? You're coming from a place of power and intention.
Yeah.
All right.
Is it better to focus on the high point of the house? Or focus on the people that are coming in on what they're what their high point is.
Not sure,
Well,
on my point, what.
Every house is gonna have certain things that are probably nicer than,
Oh,
maybe it's got a
gotcha,
really nice
gotcha,
kitchen or a really great garden in the back or something like that. I mean, is that something that you would direct people to, focus to, or would you more ask them about, you know, what are they looking for kind of a thing?
Both, so the conversation should happen organically, right? So, we didn't talk about like, and so, but one of the things that we'll talk about is that when people come in, no, it's okay. You're asking the right questions, that's great.
Okay.
So what to say to them versus what not to say to them. That's why we did the really bad skit in the beginning, because role play, because you don't want to, there's certain things that you don't want to do, and then obviously certain things you do want to do. I don't know where you're gonna talk about that and all that, so I don't
About it now.
Okay,
So we've joked about how different of Diane's and my personality are, right? Diane's true personality, unfiltered and off camera. If I was in her bubble and right,
I'd walk out the door.
Yep. Or-
It's that, offensive to
Jarring,
me.
yeah. Or if I'm showing her something obvious, like, look at this window and look at that kitchen over there, well, right? Right, so to your point, it is great for you to point out features that they may miss out, right? And if you're coming from a place of contribution and you sound knowledgeable as well, right? So if they do have other questions about the house, then who are they gonna come back to?
Right.
You, right? So she walks in and I wanna make sure that she doesn't miss the laundry chutes in the front closet on the ground, right? People may not even know what a laundry chute is,
Right.
or the crabapple tree, or what have you, right? So it's a good way to have them put their defenses down just a little bit, because you're not coming in immediately and like, hey, I wanna sell you a house, how can I get your business, and I want money, you don't come in with commission breath. Yeah. Right? So yes, great question and great practice to point out an interesting feature that may not be easily noticed by the general public.
And that pre-meeting gives you the ammo to figure out what the, unique selling feature is of that house, right? Because, if you're not the listing agent has in theory had a lot of conversations with the seller and may know some of those features that aren't obvious. All right, at first glance.
When there are unique features and things like that that you want to point out, do you kind of wait until after the person has walked through the house and stuff like that, if they come back to, where you're standing or whatever? And then you go, oh, did you catch the laundry chute in the front closet? Stuff like that, like you kind of wait to kind of get their opinion of what they're looking at, then start to point out certain special features.
Yeah, and so sometimes it's halfway through, sometimes it is at the end, yes, exactly, it's never right at the beginning, because they're gonna be like, whoa. Especially if they're my personality, I'm an introvert, I don't, please don't get too close, I have a big giant bubble. So, so give them a little space to look at the house and, when people walk in, I have often taught on our team that people come in with masks on, right? They're not gonna show you who they are. And so they come in and their guard is up. And so the best way to have someone let their guard down is to just be like, look around and take a step back, because the physical aspect of taking a step back and kind of doing this says, you have free reign in house, go for it. I'm not gonna do what Linda did, which was be glued to me, right? So it's really important to give that space to people so that they start to relax and feel open to a conversation, right?
Yeah.
Anyway,
You have to sign a roster or something, right, as they come in, right?
we don't.
That's a COVID thing that some people still use.
Well, and some people still do, they did it before COVID, they do it after COVID, it's a preference, we don't do it because we'd rather have a conversation and take their information.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, we have our cards in the drawer, because we don't want people to just take our card and walk out the door. We want to get their information, so it's almost better for you not to have your business cards, because you can have a conversation with them and get their information. I'm sorry I didn't bring my cards today, but if you give me your cell phone, I'll shoot you a picture of my card. Now you have their cell phone, right, or their email, whatever it is.
It's an opportunity to come from a place of contribution as well. You know, if you're talking about the daughter that's looking for a place down the road, you know, and she's just trying to get a rhythm of the market, then you can start talking about providing them a home search, you know, I call it window shopping to make it less invasive, right? There's no obligation, it's really just like you strolling through the mall without any intention of buying anything, but you get an idea of what the rhythm of the market is and stuff. By the way, I need your email for that, right? And how do you spell your name and things like that. So again, a very non-invasive way to be able to collect some contact information. And you're taking control of the conversation, the situation, you're driving the bus in a sense, right? You're not just handing your card over and hoping that they don't lose it or, you know, that they call you strategy. All right. Yeah. Other questions?
How do you dress?
Oh, thank you for asking that. That's on the list.
That is on the list, actually.
So I know that, I know, Margaret, you said no jeans across the board, but here's the thing, here's the rule of thumb that we always say. If someone comes in and doesn't know which one of you is hosting the open house, we
You're
have a
dressed
problem,
wrong.
right? So dress so that they know you are the professional in the room, especially on a Saturday. Everybody's gonna come in shorts and sneakers or whatever. You should not be dressed that way. Dress
You don't have to
professional.
wear a power suit, I mean,
No.
no, we're not taking. Yeah, you know,
But you have to,
But
you have to not, right,
yeah,
don't be in shorts and sneakers.
Yeah, look like you combed your hair and you washed your face and.
Don't be in torn leggings.
smoking leggings, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, does it hurt you, but I'm assuming. I'm just.
Yes.
What do you comment?
I don't know if it hurts you, I don't know that it necessarily helps you, collar is a pretty casual.
It is.
Look at it on the clothes.
What you got, I'm just thinking, what's it think of?
Yeah, it'll depend on the personality, I would say, and.
They, like,
Agreed.
sure,
Yeah.
if you're in $1 million listing, I'm definitely not coming in there with jeans on.
No,
But
right.
if I'm in $100,000 listing, I don't need to put on an Armani suit.
You're in a
Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you may look intimidating when they come on to
Yeah.
in that $100,000 listing, right?
Or the trust level may go down as a result.
Right,
You just don't know,
or you may not seem relatable to people, right? Be like, I don't know, like, I don't have that kind of money, I don't know if I'm gonna get along with that person, right? Like, we may not be speaking the same language. And that's gonna happen with anybody in any situation, right? But yeah, I mean, just like you would marketing and consideration of open houses and stuff like that, consider where the space that you're in and, you know, what kind of clientele you may be drawing in as well.
So do you intend to role play a good open house
Yes.
since you started us with what not to do?
Yes.
Yeah. The day of the open house, once you finish hosting, a couple of things, just, you know, as a professional courtesy, if you're hosting for the listing agent, you want to be mindful of a couple of things, just keeping track of how many groups came through the house. That's always helpful for the listing agent or yourself as a listing agent to be able to download with your client. What kind of feedback are you getting, right? Like if they're saying, whoa, this is really expensive for, you know, the condition that this house is in, or it feels like a bait and switch, or renovations are great, whatever it may be. It is helpful for you to share that information with the listing agent or your client. And then that could also facilitate conversations down the road if there needs to be a price drop, if there needs to be, you know, further repairs or better repairs to be able to, you know, ease some of people's concerns whenever they first come into the home. So keep track of those things and check in with the listing agent if it's not yourself and see, you know, are there any showings after the open house? How do you need to leave the house? What condition does it need to be left in the sense of, am I shutting it all down? Closing all the blinds? Am I, you know, turning off all the lights? Or do I leave it show ready and locked up for the next few showings, right? Regardless, always make sure you check all of the doors. Make sure that you're checking all of the windows as well. You just never know when someone tries to make sure that they open, or I don't know, crossbreeds, whatever. You wanna make sure that you have the homeowner's security in mind as well. And that your own peace of mind tells you like, hey, I checked every window, I double checked all the doors.
Yep.
How do you take account without physically having them watching, write this down?
You'll know, I mean, if you start getting, I mean, we've had open houses that hundreds of groups have come through, but you start to just kind of get a sense for how many groups, but. If you're doing open houses of homes that have been on the market, just the numbers will typically be a little lower than a home that's just fresh on the market. But you'll know as the groups come in, you just kind of keep a mental head count on them.
I actually keep score.
You put it on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
You just do tick marks and.
And have it be a conversation in your hosting meeting, right? So if you're hosting together, then if you're tag teaming and keeping track of who's coming in, because you may be busy talking to somebody while 3 other groups come in, right? So we will typically download right after the house clears. It's like, that's 7. Oh, I saw 2 other come in. Okay, we're at 9, what have you. Have a plan on how you're going to collect contact information from leads. You know, so if you're bringing your tablet, if you bring, a notebook, what have you, or if you're doing it on your cell phone, then that's also a good place for you to be able to keep track. If you don't trust that you remember as you're having conversations, and as time progresses throughout the open house.
It's also a gadget that I hear golfers use.
Yeah,
Yeah, just put the little clicker in your pocket.
That's true.
if you have pockets, ladies, sometimes we don't.
It's in real for realtors. We need it.
You do, or to keep your snacks.
Stacks.
Heads, business cards.
It'll be a
keys.
baseball. Not a golf.
They both have the little clickers.
Yeah, no, that's.
Yeah.
And then you pick up your signs after the open house, right? You want to change out your open house writer.
To the next one, if there is a next one, or just leave it blank.
Right, yep. We recommend picking up your signs from the furthest point from the home and then working your way back in.
You mind me asking roughly how much those cost? Usually.
The rider, or, you know what, we ordered them so long ago.
I just ordered a dozen.
Okay, there you go.
Piece,
20 apiece?
custom, double sided.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Nice. Thank you.
Any other questions around that?
Only comment is that with the ones that go in the ground, don't put cheap on the stakes.
Yeah,
You
true.
can buy the cheap skinny stakes that will break the first time you put them in, or you can spend $3 and get the heavy duty ones that will last you.
Okay.
Don't go cheap on the stakes.
Right.
We've got so many broken ones because we've been cheap on space.
All right.
Yeah. Diane mentioned it earlier, just to make sure you're listening, right? If they're talking to you about the daughter that may be looking, or, you know, the pain points in their current home, the neighbor that they hate, whatever the thing, you know, you wanna make sure you're paying attention so that you're not re-asking the question that they may have already given you an answer for. And that's how you identify what their wants and their needs are ultimately, right? Mm-hmm, there you go.
Yes, that's awful when you're like, oh,
Your name, I can't remember it. So that's another reason why I make them work when people come in, is that I'm oftentimes just leaving a little tiny note. Of the name, as they say to me, because I aphasia to them, it's terrible.
Yeah, we have a little, what's it called?
acrostic.
Is that what it is?
Also, is that what that is? You put a word down and it's all
And
in
your
your
statements
statements.
all over the place?
Crossword puzzle.
I don't know, so for listen, right, listen, the letter L, we think of look for body language in an open house, 70 to 93% of communication is going to be nonverbal, right? The I in listen, inspire confidence, make sure that you have market knowledge, home knowledge, and that knowledge. Yep, you're coming from a place of contribution. The S, so seek to find the pain points and motivation, right? That's going to be your anchor and trying to appeal to how you can help them. T, take control with open-ended questions. So instead of saying, are you looking to buy a house?
Yep.
And where do I go from there? versus how long have you been looking, Diane?
Feels like forever.
Really? Wow, well, what haven't you found that you're looking for?
I don't know, I feel like I'm gonna know it when I see it, when I
Okay.
walk in it, yeah, and oh, there's a lot of garbage, there's just junk. A lot of foundation issues, things like that,
Are you spending a lot of time looking for a house
more than I care to, yeah.
versus how much time
Mhm.
are you spending
Right,
looking for a house?
a lot.
So open-ended questions, right?
Mhm.
Make sure you maintain eye contact. And we talked about the needs and wants already, so once you know their needs and wants, then. Hopefully you can use that, that's like your ammo for sales, really, and at the end of the day, we're used home sales people, right?
Used home sales.
Each day, it's
Something on new home sales.
All right, so let's see. We talked about some of the things here, how to make people get space.
Well, we'll role play a good open house.
I wanna be your client.
You're
I'm gonna be the prospect.
Just like, well, like it. That, okay. Okay, here we come.
Hi, welcome in.
How are you? Good, how are you? And well, feel free to look around. Let me know if you have any questions, okay? This is interesting, they may have, if you have an. I don't know, I have a question out here.
Well, they actually played for the Rockies.
So, yeah, interesting. So I'm in a famous person's house. You are. May I know who they are?
I'm just kidding. I don't know, one player. Do you know blah blah blah? I shouldn't go where I don't know her.
Actually, I don't. I don't know. Maybe it's one of the three that I know.
I'm glad you said that because I think I know maybe one. So, yeah. And it's this person.
Okay, sounds like we're on the same boat then.
Pretty much on, yeah. Anyway,
Great.
so it's Pennsylvania baseball pass.
Perfect. So did they install the floors themselves?
No, this was installed when they purchased it. What they've done since they've owned it is, they've repainted, they did an addition, which you'll see the sunroom, it's actually amazing. They have a green thumb, so they actually built a sunroom for their green thumb.
Yep.
So I don't know if you like to garden or not, do you like to
I'm
garden?
awful at it. What do I do with that space?
Well, lots of things, oh my gosh. So, I mean, natural light is amazing. You can make a dining room in there, you can do a craft room in there, so you have lots of light. If you sew, you can sew in there.
Yeah.
What do you like to do? What's your hobby?
Let's see, I like to dance. So I guess I could dance there.
Yeah.
What else? I like to be on the floor and
You
when
do?
I meditate.
See, I have a teammate that does that. She lays on the floor and it helps balance her.
Yeah, good. Sounds like maybe I should talk to her.
Yeah, you'd probably like her.
So I don't think this is my price point, to be honest with you.
What price point are you looking at?
I'm looking, it's a little all over the place, but depending on the house and how much I like it, then that's how I'll determine it. So maybe something under 700.
That's an interesting strategy. I'm just kidding, don't say that. Don't say that. That's the part I would think to myself. Okay, so have you been pre-approved for up to 700? Is that what I'm hearing?
No, not yet. I've just been using the online calculators.
Oh, yeah, they're pretty handy, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
So how long have you been looking?
I've been looking on and off for about a year.
Okay, all right. And so what are you not finding?
Let me see. So it's a really weird thing. I know you already called me weird. But I want a house where I can do this in any given room.
Okay, so you need some space. You want your rooms to be on a larger scale.
I do, yeah.
Okay,
That's a
all
good way to
right.
put it.
Let me ask you something. Where do you currently live? What does that space look like?
I live in this little 1-bedroom apartment right now, and You know, my neighbor downstairs likes to play his guitar till 2 AM, and my neighbor upstairs, I swear, has like 5 or 10 kids, I can't tell, on a given day. But yeah, I'm cramped. I work from home and I have a dog and I just want more space. Like, I'm bumping elbows with my dog all the time.
That sounds rough. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. So, right. Um, So anyway, so, well, a year is a long time to be looking and having to live like that, so I'm sorry that's going on. So you haven't spoken to a lender, can you tell me more about that?
Honestly, I just don't want people in my business,
Oh, I totally get
you know, and what if I don't qualify? I don't know, I think I'm just scared, maybe,
Sure,
I hate my
that's
neighbors.
completely normal, yeah, but you hate your neighbors. You hate your neighbors more than you're scared, or?
Oh, no, it's an addiction. I don't like to answer them.
Fair enough. Well, we work with amazing lenders. I will tell you that once the market shifted, we actually invited in several lenders and talked to them because we wanted to make sure that we worked with people who could work with all different types of clients and make them feel at home. I mean, it was really important for us to make sure that our clients were well taken care of. So I've got a couple that I can think of off the top of my head that would be amazing. So if you'd like their contact information, I'm happy to make a warm introduction. I'm even happy to sit in on a meeting if you'd like, or let you take it from the introduction, whatever would work best for you.
That sounds great, yeah. And wait, but does that mean I have to buy a house if I have a conversation?
Absolutely.
Does it cost me
No problem.
anything?
Right, and then in the meanwhile, what I think would be good for you, if you've been looking for a year, is that you have some idea what you don't want, and I know you want space, so maybe we could kind of talk about narrowing down some of the things that would be best for you, and I could put you on a home search. And you can think of it like.
I have one of those on Zillow already.
So, yeah, I'll tell you why. So, so this would be through the MLS, and the good news is you could get the coming soon listing, so before they ever hit the market, you're gonna see it. Because Zillow picks it up from the MLS, so this is the first line for you.
What's the
Kind of-
MLS?
Sorry about that, don't do that, multiple listing service, so that's the system that we use, that as soon as homes go on the market, they get input into that system, so. That's when people can see them, they can see them when they're active, or they can see them in coming soon status.
Ooh.
So, it's brilliant, so it's sneak peek, sneak peek, exactly.
I love it.
And again, no obligation, it doesn't obligate you to buy anything, but it's a easier way for you to look, and it's just more efficient, right? So especially you work from home, you know, I just think this would be a great tool for you. How does that sound to you?
That sounds wonderful.
Okay, well, let me get your contact info, and after the open house, I'll follow up with you and chat about what, you know, what things you do want in a house and don't want in a house.
Perfect. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Linda.
You said don't do that, don't use MLS, don't use.
Don't use acronyms, I mean, it's terrible, we as real estate agents tend to forget.
Yes, so it didn't really hurt anything.
No,
right?
well, it didn't, but just be cognizant of
Okay.
that, because,
Okay.
you know, I'll use CMA and MLS. Before you know it, we're just talking in this, you know, real estate jargon. Mhm.
Yeah.
And it is like a complete different language for you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And depending on the personality, not, some people may not ask, right? You know, we don't, not
Just what's-
many people want to feel like they don't know.
Like they don't know, like they shouldn't, they think if you're saying it, they should know, right? And that's not. Yeah, so, but just go wherever the situation, wherever it flows, right? Like she's talking about, you know, doing this in a house and the people downstairs, and so what was her pain point?
Size,
Size, neighbors.
Space,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what that, you know, sounds like that's, so what was the question I asked to see where that pain point, just how bad that pain point was for her?
Do you like, do you hate your neighbors more than,
You're scared of
Yeah.
it. Right, so it puts in perspective, not just for you as the agent, but for that person, because she's on the fence, right? If she's been looking for a year, there's something holding her back. I mean, she's got a lot of pain all around her every single day, but she's still looking for a year. Well, why is that, right? So, because she's scared, right? So you have to kind of sometimes dig a little bit deeper, but that's the listening part too, like understand what it is she's actually saying versus what you think that person is saying, right?
Ask another question to go deeper into that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, like,
And
just go
it-
pretty deep.
Yes.
Yeah, and that you really good, I love you, is that one I'm here.
Oh,
You know,
right,
you
right.
interpret, but then you wanna get.
Clarify.
Yeah, like, am I close, is this what's really going on?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So can you role play? Getting her info. So she walked in, you don't use a sign-in sheet, right?
Right.
She's a prospect, but she's also one that's being a little hands-off with you a little bit, right? So how do you get her to give you info? Will you show us how you do that?
Yeah, sure. So,
Excuse me.
yeah,
So, thank you, that was really, really important, I loved it,
Thanks for having.
thanks so much.
To get to the end of this.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
good luck.
We're going.
All right, so if she's standoffish, you know, and that's great because that's my personality, but you know, I don't like to spill my candy in the lobby ever, so anyway, so if she's walked through the house, okay, so what did you think?
You know, that's good.
It's good. Did you have a favorite part about the house?
I did like the sunroom, actually.
You did like this
Yeah.
one.
Yes,
As soon as I
some
got
good
the
space. And I could do my little circle all the way around.
Very good, so space and light, if I'm hearing you correctly,
Yeah.
are important to you.
Yes.
Okay, so what are you living in now? Where are you living?
I have a 1 bedroom and I have really crappy neighbors and I work from home. Just not enough space.
Okay.
Yeah,
And so how long have you been looking
about a year.
here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, that's a long time. Have you made any offers?
I haven't made any offers, no. I'm not really working with anyone. I've just been on Zillow and, you know, Realtor.com and, you know, it's just so easy to hop on there in the middle of the night when I have some insomnia and just do my own thing.
That'll put you to sleep, huh? Yeah, no, I get that. So, okay, so tell me a little bit more about your neighbors. So you have
Oh,
neighbors?
Man, I have a neighbor below me that likes to play his guitar till like 2 AM, and then gets upset whenever I'm up in the morning getting ready for work and breakfast and stuff. And then I have a neighbor upstairs that just has a million kids. Yeah,
Wow.
and they probably tap dance, it sounds like, I don't know.
Well, maybe they do like what's that Irish step dance thing? Maybe they.
Yeah.
You never
River
know.
dance? No,
River
river
dance?
dance, I don't know.
Anyway, you get.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, that's what it sounds like, all of that.
Yeah. So, so you've been looking for a year.
Mhm.
So what's preventing you from making offers? I know you're not working with an agent per se, but what's stopping you, do you think?
You know, myself, actually, yeah.
Okay.
It's just gonna take a long time to make a decision. And I don't really have a lot of people to bounce ideas off of, so I think I can talk myself into something and then I talk myself out of it,
Oh,
you know? Yeah,
that's
it's
interesting.
just me and my dog,
You.
you know?
I won't go there this. So what's your dog's name?
Frankie,
Frankie.
yes,
With the bow ties.
yes.
Okay, so, and you're saying you're looking on Zillow at night, basically, and that's how you're looking for homes?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
and so, and what, are you just going to open houses, or how are you seeing properties?
Yeah.
Besides the pictures.
Whenever I have time, I just go on Zillow and check, you know, like what open houses are going on right now, and then I just, you know, pick a place where maybe, I have an errand to run right close to there afterwards, or, you know, it just looks maybe like a good neighborhood. I don't know.
Do you
Just-
enjoy going to open houses?
Not always, not everybody's, I don't wanna talk to everybody, to be honest.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
I really don't. Okay, so I mean, would you prefer to do a private showing so you could see the house by yourself and do this in the room, so you have, see if you have enough space?
Yeah, so you're doing that, I get it.
Or you might hit someone.
Yeah,
right? I mean, it's hard to know.
I think it's their fault.
Hey, if they get in your way.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so I know you're looking at Zillow, but when real estate agents list a home for sale, right? They actually put it in the multiple listing service, the MLS it's called. And so when they put that in, they can put it in as incoming soon mode, meaning it's not active yet, but it'll be active within a week.
Nice.
Or they'll put it in as active, right? And not everybody posts open houses, so there's a whole lot of properties that you might not be seeing that don't have open houses, so that's
Okay.
your strategy to see
Yeah.
properties. And so I'm happy to set you up on a search to do that. It's no obligation to you at all, but I'd be happy to walk you through that if you'd like.
I heard you get so many emails, though. I feel like, are you gonna sell my information?
No, we don't sell your information at
Okay.
all.
Okay. And what if I don't want to keep getting your emails?
They're the unsubscribe.
Okay.
And absolutely, it's no pressure, no obligation. I
Okay.
just think for you, it would be a great way for you to see what's coming on and then be able to be in a space by yourself
Yeah.
with an agent, obviously. But be in a space where without all these neighbors, I mean, this is a busy open house, so
Yeah.
it might feel better for you.
Yeah. Well, and also the fact that not everybody is going to be doing an open house, I hadn't even considered that. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Was that helpful, you guys, to see them do that live?
Yeah.
I wanna see the faces online, yeah, okay, I like the thumbs, okay.
Yeah.
What about follow-up? That's something I feel like.
The next thing, well, thank you for that segue.
Yeah. Yeah.
Follow-up, Linda.
The function is in the follow-up.
It really is, like, let's. Consider all of your tools, right? Like think of, the toolbox that you have available to you, especially as Keller Williams agents. We have so much that we can share. We've talked about Command already. We also have our Keller Williams app. If you did your orientation with Elizabeth already, then you may have already set that up. If not, then set that up, yeah. But in the follow-up, then you can do a couple of things, right? Like we always say, follow up the same day after the open house. I go as far as sometimes, depending on the personality, if they're, really engaged and willing to listen and not like halfway out the door, then I will set an expectation of like, I'll be here till about 1, after signs, what have you, then I should be reaching out by 3, something to that effect. And then do what you say you're going to do.
Yes.
Right? Do the thing. Do the thing that you say you're gonna do. You wanna strike while the iron is hot. They just met you, they more than likely will still remember you. You want to give them a reminder, right? Like the goal is always to not have them feel like they just don't know things. You don't wanna give them any sort of ill feeling that way or opportunity to have it. So, remind them, hey, this is Linda, we met at the open house you could use the address, or if you learned that was the only one, the one in Arvada, what have you, like give them an identifier.
Shoot, right, so whatever you've pointed out, right,
Yeah.
to give them a frame of reference. Because if they're going to your open house, they're probably going to 3 to 10 other open houses, right, whichever is available.
Right, yep. I recommend trying to use some of the information you learned about them at the open house, right? So if you, like, I hope that I get to meet Frankie one day or something to that effect, so you're personalizing your message. And we say go for the kill, right? There's blood in the water, y'all, so you want to, the next step, try to set up an appointment. Depending on where they are in the conversation was, if it's to the point where we're setting up a home search, I want to sell my house, what have you, then, see when you can get in front of them, offer them, to take them out to coffee or tea, something to that effect, or meet here at the office, whatever your budget allows or what they're comfortable with, and set up an appointment to continue to build a relationship, come from a place of contribution, right? And then you're continuing to show like your knowledge base of the market, of the process in home buying, selling, what have you.
Are you doing that via phone? Are you leaving a message? Are you texting?
If there's space for it, then I will ask what their preferred method of contact is. If there, depends on what contact information they gave me too, right? Sometimes they only give you a phone number or only an email. So if I only have one of the two, then that's the way that I'm reaching out. Typically, if I have a phone number, I'm calling. Right, I wanna have a conversation with them, I'll leave a voicemail and then I'll follow up with a text message if, you know. Can't leave a voicemail, or maybe some people don't check their voicemails. You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, continuing with the follow-up, then, you know, you want to add them to your command database. You get their contact information, if you have any of that, we will also stalk them, we are realtors, there are plenty of ways for us to be able to find people, so if they told you, I just live on 69th over here, I'm the only house that faces the open space. And you know their first name, yep, then, yeah, yep, Realist will help you find who they, you know, who they are, and then there are websites that we'll use to be able to find other information, if you want to, add them to a command, drip. There's a smart plan, yes, thank you. Yeah. To smart plan, you know, don't have any of, you know, all of the pieces of their contact information, then we use True People Search or Fast People Search, basically the same thing. It's a free website that you can go on to, and I don't know if you guys remember like 80s, 90s, you could do like a reverse phone number search. Basically the same thing, you could do the same thing with the home address as well. Some of the information, yeah, some of the information may be outdated, but you never know, like maybe the email is correct. You plug that in and then add them to a smart plan, and then you are passively still staying in front of them. And, you know, if you're doing your DTD2 as well within command, then you're calling them on a regular basis or doing follow-up more frequently, depending on how the conversation went or what their urgency was, right?
What was that website again?
True People Search or Fast People Search.
And they're free. Another one that's good is that'sthem.com.
That's them.
Good.
That's them.
Yeah, that's them. That's good. Those are two I didn't know, so.
I didn't know that's them. Thank you, yeah.
Yeah, and following up means more than calling or texting once, right? That's just an initial whatever, but you know. If it takes 12 phone calls, it takes 12 phone calls. Don't assume that you're bothering people, that's a mindset thing. Assume that people are busy, because people are actually very busy. So you know, we've followed up multiple times and then have had people suddenly respond and just be like, thank you, I know I've been MIA, I was doing this or doing that, or having 12 babies or whatever, right? Whatever the thing is, don't just assume that they don't want to talk to you, because usually that is not the case.
Right, yeah, don't make the decision for them, right? And handwritten notes, I know if you guys join Coffee Talk, it's talked about there pretty regularly. We have November that we do as well at the end of the year, stuff like that, but you know, we do follow up with handwritten notes as well. So just, you know, if I talk to you today, then, you know, in a few days, we're gonna get, you know, a little thank you card for coming by from us in the mail as well. Exactly.
So if you're hosting the open house by yourself, how long are you staying with one particular person versus when, especially when you have other people in the house?
Exactly, and that's the art of hosting an open house, is how to talk to someone and engage, but also disengage so that you can greet other people. Do you typically host by yourself?
Never by yourself,
Okay.
always have to have two.
Yeah, that's our rule of thumb too. We don't, first of all, it's
Market
market
center
city.
rule.
Secondly, it's for that reason too.
Okay.
Because if you're type, so if Lynn and I were hosting an open house and we take turns, right? The first one who comes in, she greets them, the next one comes in, I greet them. If one of the people that she's greeted is about to leave and she's tied up with another person, then I would engage and just say, so what did you think?
Mhm.
Because I want to help her still get that lead. We don't want them to just walk up the door, right? So it's always better to have two. Yeah.
A good way to disengage too, so like nosy neighbors, sometimes they just wanna sit there and gossip. Right, or just a talkative person that came in, and even if it is, potential lead and stuff, you could always, just say, I'd love to continue this conversation. Can I get your phone number? I'd love to set up a meeting outside of this, but I could give you my full and undivided attention. Something to that effect. Use your own words, don't come up with your own statement, right? But, I'm noticing somebody has a question for me over here. Do you mind if we continue? On a phone call, or, once I'm done with them, something to that effect, and then you can move on, yeah, if you need to, right?
Okay.
But there have been, play by ear, I would say. I had an open house, where we didn't have a lot of traffic coming through. I wanna say we had 3 groups come through. One of them, he, just clung on to me and he had all the questions. He kept asking me questions as he walked away and into other rooms. So I followed him because he kept talking at me, right? He was engaged, so I followed him when I normally would not, but his body language was like, I wanna keep talking to you, but I wanna go also do this thing, right? And I spent most of the open house with him. He stayed there the whole time. And I sold him the house.
Wow.
And he was an investor I actually closed 5 transactions with that same year.
So you don't need 100 people at an open house to do.
You don't.
something. You do?
No.
You need
In
one.
fact, 100 people gets a little overwhelming, believe me.
Yeah, you don't yeah, you're basically just, holding the door. Yeah, making sure no one gets hurt, like, so, yeah, play it by ear. Yeah. And if you're hosting with someone that you can tell is, managing the crowd flow well and stuff like that, then. Yeah, do what you think is going to be best for that situation.
And if we expect a really busy open house like that, we'll add bodies to the open house just to greet and, just manage the situation.
Yeah. And we're just at about time, and we're out of topics. We threw a lot at you. There's sure more that we could have talked about, but any questions? Feedback, comments, concerns?
Zoomland, you guys are the quietest Zoomers I have been around. So what questions do you have? What are your thoughts?
I don't have any questions. I just want to thank you guys for putting this on for us.
Welcome.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
All right, so who took away something today that is gonna make your open houses better? Gosh, right? How many of you have never held an open house and now you're like, well, I got this, I'm not afraid anymore? Right? Yeah.
I got the information.
And so that's why I love putting these on, and so first of all, thank you. Right, you guys were awesome and amazing, and I know I threw you under the bus a couple times with the role plays, but that's what we wanted to see, right? And that's what really is helpful. So before we shut down the Zoom, I just want to remind everybody in coaching, tomorrow night, what's going on? We're all gonna stand in the room and go like this. We can do that. We can also have our coaching happy hour, so make sure you're back here 4:30 tomorrow night. We've got prizes, we've got games, we've got food, we've got drinks, adult and non-adult, so whatever you want, no Capri Suns. So again, thank you guys so very much. You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Super informative. Really appreciate all your time.
Or something.